So the request was, can you walk us through a simple guided breath meditation that I can take home or do in the car before or after work, etc., etc.? Absolutely. But the first thing I want to say is, even just wherever you are and whatever you're doing, even just coming into presence. And for me, what that means is just shifting my attention from whatever's going on out there, or whatever plan I'm making, or whatever errand I forgot to run. And that's all there too. But just shifting that being in the foreground and the body and breath, etc., being in the background, just shifting so that body, breath, feeling is in the foreground. And anything else that I need to do later is in the background. Does that make sense? And it can even be as simple as hopefully, you can just find a sensation that's always easy for you to lock in with. So somebody in the room, maybe somebody who's been meditating a little bit, just holler out, what's your go-to sensation? What's the thing you can almost always lock into and to come into presence or to notice by way of mindfulness of the body?
Your heart.
One more time?
Your heart.
Your heart. And is that an emotional check-in or a physical check-in?
Both.
Okay. So like the actual physicality of your heart and then whatever the feeling is going on?
Yeah, you could breathe in love and breathe out love.
Okay, but that's doing something. And this is the difference. This is what I want to highlight right now. You can do any number of things, but what I'm talking about is everyone heard that. You didn't need to do anything. You didn't need to manufacture anything. You didn't have to try hard. It just happened. So right now, you can feel your feet on that mat. You don't have to do anything. You just have to notice it. And for instance, if you're sitting on one of those, whatever you're sitting on, you can feel the backs of your thighs, sit bones, and buttocks on the chair. If you're standing somewhere, you can feel your feet on the ground. For me, for whatever reason, I kind of do, my go-to is I take a deeper breath than usual, and it really helps me come into presence and feel my rib cage. And even the change in my experience of my body on that exhale. And that's going to be probably different for everybody in the world. There are people for whom the breath is not a relaxing place to be. I know, a lot of us, how we breathe is letting us know if we're stressed or not. You're stressed and you're like this, or you're rushing around and the breath comes up in the chest. There are people who the breath might not be the best way for them to check in. But for the vast majority of people, especially if we can start to notice what's going on in our breathing and painfully start to down-regulate our stress response in that moment. So maybe your homework is to figure out a physiological entry point, a physical trigger that you can notice and check in with and bring your attention to. Okay? So the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm about to do this, semi-elaborate, breath meditation. But everybody in this room can just check in, especially if you've got a minute before work or you're about to do something difficult. And maybe you're already kind of activated, stressful. That's okay too. Just bring your presence into whatever's going on for you, including stress, including sadness, including anger, whatever. But if you can anchor it in a physiological or a physical, a tangible place, it just makes it that much stronger.
Can it be auditory? Like, because I know for me, like when you do the music for our end, and then like even the bell too, like those things are very.
That was. Thank you for bringing me back to my next question. Next question was, can it be something auditory? Yes, especially for folks for whom the breath can be stressful generally, or if you are under a lot of stress, and checking in with your breath might actually, get you into a situation where you're fighting your stress and you're like trying to calm down your breath and you're muscling through it. It's just making it worse. Ambient noise can be great. Even just sounds of whatever the room is going on around you. That's I know a few people like that who often have a stressful relationship to their breathing. So when they sit, they go for ambient sound. And if you have a sound you like, if you have a song you like, or a music you like, or like Nick said, a bell, chimes. I've got these chimes on my front porch that they do me well. I'll be sitting in my living room and I'm kind of, goofing off, doing whatever, and I'll hit the bell and I'm like, oh, that's my signal, and I just drop into presence. But yeah, ambient noise, anything happening in your five senses can be a great trigger for you. Even something like a sip of cool water. And just anything sensory going on is a way into the present moment. Why? Because the body is always present moment. It's the amazing thing about the five senses. They're always right now. So by bringing our attention, taking our attention by the hand and say, okay, I know you're worried about that thing that's going to happen in 6 years, but come over here and hold hands with the body. Come over here and hold hands with the breath and just sit with us. It's a way of bringing the mind back. Okay? So we're about to do this practice, but like I said, any amount of checking in throughout your day is practice. Anytime you come into presence, you become aware of anything happening in your five senses. That's practice. And over time, that reflex of strengthening, of coming back, can become incredibly powerful. And you'll even find it happening when you're not doing it on purpose. Like the number of times that something incredibly stressful and panic-inducing has happened to me in my life, and I noticed I was able to respond with spaciousness and clarity in a really hard situation. And that's not because I'm smart or good or wise or anything. It's because I've been poorly meditating for 50 years. So, all right. So now the actual thing, and you can find 100,000 of these online, and I can send you a copy. I've done this before plenty of times. I just email you a copy. I've got 2 or 3 that are my kind of go-tos. But you could see how they all kind of follow a similar script, which is putting your body in a comfortable posture, noticing the way the body feels, and then bringing attention to the breath, and then usually making some kind of note or count with each exhale. That's a very common format, okay? So go ahead and come into your comfy posture, your comfy yet stable posture. And the way my teacher James always says is, find a way to sit in which your skeleton is doing the work. Because if we're sitting like this or like this is all fine, but your muscles and nerves have to do the work now, which is actually creating a kind of background agitation in your nervous system. So if you can find a way of sitting where your pelvis and your lower back is supporting the top half of your body, whether it's on the couch or on the floor, in a chair, whatever. This allows you to sit in such a way that the skeleton, the bones are doing the work, and it just takes real gentle correction to keep you in an upright posture. We're trying to do as little as possible. Okay. Establish your body in the comfortable posture. With a straight back and your limbs at rest. If you like, your eyes can close, or you can allow them to stay open, with your gaze directed towards the floor at a 45-degree angle and your eyelids soft and your gaze unfocused. And this is something that goes for whether you've got your eyes closed or open. Let your gaze be soft. Let your gaze be unfocused. You're not looking at anything. You're not trying to figure anything out. You're just at rest. Feel the body settle in this posture. Feel gravity holding you into the chair, onto the earth. Feel the way your muscles and bones hold you upright. And if you like, you can take a few deep breaths deep into your belly. And you can let go like a sigh, or you can breathe out through your nose, whatever works for you. And now let the breath do exactly what it wants. Letting go of any need to control or manage your breathing. I invite you to gently gather your attention on the sensations of each breath. And each breath being one inhale and one exhale. It's like the breath is drawing a circle in your body. And again, there's no need to control or manage the breath or make it soft or even or anything like that. And I invite you to see if you can be present to the sensations of each breath, noticing each breath like a complete circle. And of course, thoughts will come and go, feelings will come and go. But I want to invite you to understand that part of the incredible power of mindfulness of breathing is the way that for any instant of time, any second or microsecond in which you are paying total attention to the sensation of your breath, even just a fraction of the breath, for that moment in time, you have let go of all of your concerns and cares and worries. You have let go of self and other and world and past and future. And even for that instant, breath, breather are one. And when something pulls you away, I invite you to notice and just gently and kindly come back. Maybe you come back 1,000 times each breath, that's fine. You are practicing a dance move. You are making a brush stroke. You are carving a beautiful sculpture. And I'm going to ring the bell and close my mouth. And I invite you to just notice the circle of each breath for the next few moments. present moment is always raw, is ever fresh, and is always offering itself to us. But you may notice that our primary habitual way of dealing with our consciousness isn't so fresh. A sound happens in the room in which I'm sitting, and I'm still thinking about it 5, 10, 20 seconds later. A memory arises in my mind, and I'm still working it out 5, 10, 20 minutes later. I bring my attention to the breath, and a couple seconds after, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do when I get home, in the future. And this is fine, this is all well and good. But it would be a shame to never actually live in the one place where your life happens, which is in the present moment, ever fresh, ever new, and always arising.